Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Yellow with Erica's team was a fun but really hard team run. Let's follow that up with a fun gimmick ability solo run. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Fire Red with a team of only one Kecleon. Man, I love Kecleon. It's such a fun gimmick for a Pokemon. We have tons of special defense and decent attack with pretty average other stats other than low speed. Really, what makes us interesting is our color change ability, where whenever we get hit by a damaging move, we turn into that type. That means we can resist moves if they're spamming the same type of move, but we don't have much control over our own same type attack bonus. By level up, we don't really get any great moves. Slash isn't bad, and Psybeam can be useful, but we're a physical attacker, so I don't really expect to hit hard with Psybeam. Really, it's our TM moves that'll have some nice coverage. Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Aerial Ace, we have a lot of choices. The main problem I see is that a lot of our moves you have to buy with coins in this game, so we're likely not going to be able to afford some of them until we're pretty far in. Plus, again, we're a physical attacker, and most of the really good moves here aren't physical. We'll just have to make do with what we have. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'm confident that I can win. This run is about seeing how our color change ability affects the major fights. I figure it'll make gym leaders easier, but the final Pokemon champion battle could be a total mess. Should be a fun one though. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Kecleon. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So right off the bat, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Charmander with Kecleon so that we can do the whole run with it. Our nature is Brave, so more attack and less speed. I mean, that's pretty much perfect. Yeah, our speed is bad, so it'll make it even worse, but at the same time, having a negative nature on something that you're already having a low base stat on just means it'll have less of an impact on you. It could be bad, but you could also argue it's the best stat for a Kecleon to have less of. I don't know. Plus, we're a physical attacker, so more attack is very much appreciated. I named him Hardy, like last time. Alright, so we're making our way through the forest. Now, I figure we don't need to grind for a rock gym for once. I mean, maybe we will, but I'm gonna just blitz through and see how low of a level I can get there at. We learned Feint Attack at level 7, and I figure there's a chance we could win as early as that, so I don't really want to waste any time. Even if we do win early, we do have a hard rival fight and a water gym fight after, so it's not like this speeds things up too much. But it's still fun seeing if I can get past the early game battles at a low level on runs where it seems possible. Let's see what happens. Wow, so the first try at the rock gym actually goes kind of awesome. Despite only being level 8 and probably not having a great shot at winning, we lucked out by both having Tackle miss with Geodude, Bind missed with Onix, and we crit twice in total. Not only did we win the fight on the first try, but we leveled up 3.5 times doing it. I kinda just assumed that I'd lose when I saw how little damage we were doing. That was awesome. Now that said, we're obviously just gonna lose to both the water gym and our rival once we get over there. I just don't see us taking out either of them until we grind a whole bunch, considering how low of a level that we are, but I guess you never really know. We don't really learn any strong moves by level up until level 31, so I don't see that saving us. Who knows though, maybe our color change will save us. Maybe they'll use some weak water moves on us, then we'll resist water for the rest of the fight. Although, they could probably still win if that happens. Then there's our rival, and he's gonna sand attack us, so that'll be a mess. I'll probably have to grind. I'll try and get some levels on my way there, but I think a grind might just have to happen. On our way there, though, I took the Helix Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Alright, I kind of assumed I was gonna lose at the water gym, but we literally crit twice in a row, one-shotting Staryu and nearly one-shotting Starmie. Now, Starmie was able to heal back up with a super potion, but between our awesome special defense and us having a dark move, we actually didn't get hit that hard and did more damage than I was expecting in return. I really thought this one would be harder, but it went great. How about our rival though? Sand Attack could be really annoying. It would force us to only use Feint Attack. Well, color me surprised. He actually never used Sand Attack, so we had a pretty easy time with the fight. We got pretty lucky with him using a lot of normal moves, so we could stay a normal type, giving us the same type attack bonus on Scratch. Because of that, we were doing alright damage. Hey, it's time to go get some new moves. So we're on our way to the SSN for the next rival fight, but we have some moves to pick up along the way. First, I get the TM for Secret Power. That's a pretty solid normal type move. And on the SSN itself, I pick up Brick Break for a good fighting move. I think I'll learn both right away, since we have some moves that just aren't great. We could replace them. Lick is cool for paralysis, but Ghost and Dark are both super effective against the same types, and we can just use Secret Power for paralysis now. Now, I think that our rival and the Electric Gym won't be too bad, but after that is the Grass Gym, and that could easily be a pain thanks to their effects. I'm sure we won't be taking too much damage from their attacking moves themselves, since we'll be just turning into a grass type, and between that and our high special defense we should be fine. Unless they use acid, that could be a problem. I'm getting ahead of myself though, we'll worry about the upcoming stuff first. Wow. I mean, I knew the rival would be easy, but I didn't think we'd take no damage. That was so much easier than it had any right to be. The Electric Gym was actually much harder, with us just losing about half of our health, pretty much just from Raichu. It's not a super hard fight or anything, but we don't really hit hard at all with special moves. I didn't really want to use Secret Power on the Pokemon with Static because I knew that getting paralyzed would probably make things a lot worse. So I decided to go straight to the Rocket Hideout on the other side of Rock Tunnel. I figure that Brick Break will do a great job there, so it's an area where I can gain a few more levels before trying the Grass Gym. I'm still not totally sure how that's gonna go. Then we have a rival fight that I don't think will be too bad unless our color change gives us a hard time. I do figure that color change is gonna hurt us more in rival fights than in gym battles. We have a Poison Gym after that, and I'm kind of hoping that they hit us with a poison move early so that we turn into a poison type and thus can't be poisoned, but they might just smoke screen us, so who knows. We'll see when we get there. As expected, Giovanni was pretty easy. Brick Break was great against most of his team. We took a bit of damage off Stomp, but Kangaskhan really blew it by using Tail Whip a bunch instead of just attacking. I'm iffy on the Grass Gym, but let's give it a try. Well, this Grass Gym was insane. It starts off poorly as Victory Bell not only paralyzes us, but he learns fast that he can use grass moves to make us grass type, and then Acid to do super effective damage on us. That's not good. We take him out reasonably fast, but we got insanely unlucky as Tangela comes out. You'd think it'd be super easy to take down, but somehow we lose 5 turns in a row to paralysis. So many turns that he actually healed off Giga Drain and Ingrain to be able to take an extra hit. Eventually, we took him down, but our health is low. Against Vileplume, I figured I was doomed due to horrible luck. We got hit by Acid, dropped to only 6 health, then crit to land a one-shot on her. I can't believe we won after that horrendous paralysis luck. Thankfully, after that was the usually easy rival fight at the Pokemon Tower, and as expected, we hardly got hurt at all. In fact, we one-shot most of his team. Our level is getting a bit high. I guess that won't matter for long, though. We're back on the road, and it's time for the Poison Gym next. Now, I figure that winning won't be too bad. This'll go one of two ways. Either we lose badly because they spam accuracy and evasion moves, forcing us to use Feint Attack and thus not do enough damage, or they end up using something like Smog or Sludge, and we just end up turning into a poison type, hardly getting hurt, and then we can spam Psybeam to win. Personally, I hope it's the latter because I'd love to go to the Fire Gym early. On one hand, we'll probably become Fire type and our high special defense will keep us safe, but on the other hand, they'll get us with Intimidate twice and they'll be a really high level, so it could be a really close and interesting fight. I really want to do the Fire Gym early, but that only happens if we're ready for the Poison Gym right now, so wish me luck. Well, the fight starts fine with Koffing going down in one crit, but Muck shuts us down really hard. He spams Minimize, so we have to use Feint Attack, and even with Black Glasses to do more damage, we do just about nothing. Not only that, but he uses 2 Hyper Potions to stay healthy. Fine, I guess I'll go get some levels in Silphco and try the rival fight while I'm in there. Maybe after that we'll be ready to win this. Right away at our rival, we get turned into a flying type from a few wing attacks as we take 2 hits to make Pidgeot faint. So we've already lost a decent chunk of health. Growlithe is next, and our attack is down, meaning he could take a hit and turn us back to normal type with Takedown. At least we took him down after that. Execute is a one-shot with Feint Attack, and next is Alakazam, who uses Calm Mind as we use Feint Attack. It takes him to exactly half health, he lets off a Future Sight, then we take him out. Last is Blastoise, and we get bit right away to become Dark-type as we paralyze him fast with a secret power. Even with him paralyzed though, he's still faster than us and goes first, but thankfully is fully paralyzed. We ended up taking damage off Future Sight, although it didn't change our type, and he kept spamming Protect as we were using Psybeam until we confused him. He hit himself, we landed a critical secret power, and he went down. That was a close fight. Wow, this has got to be a first. I tried Giovanni 3 times, but every time we just fainted really early on to Nidoqueen. All of her moves do decent damage, but her body slams are just horrible because of the paralysis. Our super low speed really isn't doing us any favors either. I mean, right now, it's just this or the Poison Gym, and I don't think we're ready for that either, so I guess I just have to fight more trainers than come back. Gotta be honest, I don't think we've ever gotten stuck here before. Well, that turned around fast, just a few levels later, and we ended up critting our first Psybeam, so that second one did exactly enough to finish off Nidoqueen. The entire rest of our team was easy, so we hardly got hurt. I guess I should try the Psychic Gym while I'm in town. So the Psychic Gym probably would have been hard if they just, attacked the whole time, but most of them were too busy using Calm Mind to actually fight me, so we ended up winning easily. That was really their own fault. After that was the Poison Gym, and on the first try, we lost to getting poisoned by Sludge. But on the second try, Psybeam confused Muck into hitting himself, meaning we could two-shot him before he could use a Hyper Potion. Because of that, we pretty easily took out his whole team. Nice! I guess it's time for that Fire Gym. Alright, so first is Growlithe, who's just a one-shot, but our attack is down from Intimidate. Second is Ponyta, who actually does us a favor by surviving with a Sliver to hit a weak Fire Blast so that we could turn into a Fire type before we take him out. Thanks to that, Rapidash really didn't hurt us much with his own Fire Blast. He did manage to switch us to Flying type with Bounce before we took him out, though. Last is Arcanine, though, and he was a real problem. We've been hit by 2 Intimidates now, so we really aren't hitting hard, and he's switching between Fire Blast and Takedown to get around us becoming Fire type from his Fire moves. Because of that, we faint, but I actually think we could win this fight if we just level up a little bit more. Man, this is brutal. So we can easily get to Arcanine without taking much damage now, but because of his full heal and Hyper Potion spam, we just can't take him out. Our moves don't hit hard enough to bypass when he uses a Hyper Potion, and even with him missing a bit, we end up fainting eventually. I'm pretty confident I could win at level 65, but I was really thinking that 62 would have been enough. What? Alright, I try again at level 65. I drop him to an amount of health where he very clearly should be using a Hyper Potion, and then he just doesn't. Maybe his AI thought I'd one-shot him with a crit and I lucked out, but I'm pretty sure I didn't need that crit. That was just bizarre. After that was the Ground Gym, but it was pretty trivial. They all just spam Earthquake on us, and it really doesn't hurt us that badly, so we just blast through all of them with Brick Break, Secret Power, and Psybeam. I figured this one wouldn't be too bad after all that leveling. I'm not sure how the next rival fight will go, though. So it starts off alright as we become Flying type due to Wing Attack, paralyze Pidgeot on our first Secret Power, then finish him off now that we have the speed advantage. Second is Rhyhorn, but he just went down in 1 Brick Break. Growlithe was next, so our attack is down, but we took him down in 2 hits of Secret Power. He actually hits us with Takedown in the process though, so we're a normal type again, powering up Secret Power. Executor was a one-shot with Feint Attack, and next is Alakazam, who disabled Feint Attack as we just one-shot him with a critical Secret Power that probably didn't need to crit. Last was a really long fight with Blastoise, where he kept switching us between Water type with Water Gun and Dark type with Bite. We were hardly doing any damage no matter what moves we used, but thankfully we paralyzed him early on to make it easier. I'm just thankful that he didn't use a Hyper Potion, because if he did, we'd probably have lost. Alright, we're on our way to the Elite Four, but I think this could be hard. Our moveset just isn't really that amazing for dealing with them. I figure that Brick Break will help us against some of his ice Pokemon, and Feint Attack would be good against Agatha, so I'm happy with those, but outside of that, I'm not really sure. Psybeam could be good for Bruno, but after that it's kind of useless when I've already got Feint Attack and Black Glasses for Agatha. I decided to spend money on buying the Ice Beam TM. That'll replace Psybeam with Ice Beam once we get to Lance. I think that'll help a lot. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, our special defense and attack both rock, but I'm shocked with just how bad our special attack is. No wonder Secret Power is almost always the right move to use. You know what? I think I'm gonna go buy the TM for Shadow Ball while I'm at it. Ghost moves are physical in this game, so I'm gonna be a lot stronger with that than Feint Attack. That should help us a lot against Agatha. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Ice Trainer Lorelei. First is Dugong, who takes big damage off Brick Break, makes it hail, then full restores, so I have to hit twice to take it down. Because of that, the hail really built up on us, and we took a bit more damage than I was expecting. Cloyster is of course too tanky for us to one-shot, but all it did was lay down spikes, so we took it out just fine on the second hit after it wasted time with Protect. Slowbro was next, so we hit it with Shadow Ball, she used Amnesia, then we took it out with another hit. Next is Lapras, so I went for Brick Break, she hit an Ice Beam, then we finished her off. Last is Jinx, but we're actually faster and one-shot her with Shadow Ball. Now that was pretty easy for the first fight. Second is fighting Trainer Bruno. This one isn't great though. Onyx is easy, but we keep feinting to Hitmonchan because we don't deal much damage. Hitmonchan has a lot more special defense than defense, and we obviously have more attack than special attack by a lot. Thanks to that, our Psybeams don't do much, to the point that our Secret Power seems to be more effective. Hey, you know what? We only need Psybeam for this individual matchup anyway. Why don't we replace it with Aerial Ace so that we have a physical move, then we can replace that with Ice Beam later against Lance. Okay, so I tried that, and it did more damage, but right away Hitmonchan just hit counter to one-shot us. Alright, well all of our moves are physical now, so I can't really avoid that. I'll just keep trying until he doesn't do that. Alright, well that fell apart because now we're not one-shotting Onyx due to not getting the crit, so it just Rock Tombs, then Earthquakes us, then sends in the other Onyx to wear us down more. By the time we get to Hitmonchan, we just go down in one hit. I can't learn anything better to deal with it, so I just have to Rare Candy up. That's alright, I maxed out our effort values ages ago, so this won't negatively affect our stats at all. This might take a while though, we're not really that close to one-shotting Onyx. So I try again 4 levels later. This time the first Onyx takes a sliver more damage and thus uses a full restore early. It also used Earthquake first instead of Rock Tomb, so we preserved our speed and didn't have to deal with a super effective Earthquake. The second Onyx went the same way outside of the full restore, so we have decent health. Hitmonchan is thankfully a one-shot this time, so we got farther, and Hitmonlee was a one-shot, although it was faster than us, so we took a good chunk of health and turned into a fighting type. As Machamp came out, we crit Aerial Ace to one-shot him. Nice! Third is Ghost Trainer Agatha. It took tons of tries before I got this one. First is Gengar, who's a one-shot with Shadow Ball, but sometimes it gets us with a Confuse Ray. On this try, it used Double Team, and we didn't miss, so that's a great start. Next is Golbat, who often makes us faint. She loves using Confuse Ray and sometimes badly poisons us with Poison Fang, but on this try, we got beaten up, but not too bad, so we actually managed to take her out. Problem is, third is Arbok, so our attack is down from Intimidate, and it hits us incredibly hard with Sludge Bomb. We managed to bring her down to a sliver of health, but we still fainted to Iron Tail. I'm gonna have to level up a bit for sure. This is a brutal fight. So I kept trying 3 levels later. Gengar is still a one-shot, and this time Golbat seems to just use Air Cutter a lot. We still take some damage, and he's still faster, but we actually take him out easily in 2 hits. Now Arbok is still a problem because Screech and Sludge Bomb hit us incredibly hard, but this time we survived the Iron Tail with only 3 health left to finish her off. Haunter is just a one-shot, and I'm sure Gengar at the end would be too, but it's faster and finishes us off with Shadow Ball. Man, those defense drops are brutal. I think I have to get even more levels. If I could get a speed advantage on either Arbok or Golbat, then I think that I could take 1 less hit and probably get a win. So after failing a few times at level 80 due to getting poisoned, we had this solid run. Right away, we crit Golbat for a one-shot, so we hardly got hurt, but then we had a brutal and long fight with Arbok. It still got Sludge Bomb in early, but it crit, so we took massive damage without even needing to get hit by Screech. Then we got hit by an Iron Tail to change to Steel type. She tried for it again after healing, but thankfully it missed, and we took her out after. Haunter is still a one-shot, but this time the Shadow Ball from Gengar didn't do as much because we never got hit by Screech, and we were still a Steel type from Iron Tail, meaning we resisted it and landed our one-shot. It wasn't easy, but we finally got a win. Now to learn Ice Beam and hope it's enough for Lance. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Lance. It starts with Water Onyx dropping our attack as we hit Secret Power to fully paralyze him. We ended up taking a Dragon Rage before we dropped into low health, and he healed. He got a bunch of Twisters in, and one of them crit before we took him down. Even with it being super effective, it didn't really hurt us much. Twister is really weak. Next is a Dragonair that we one-shot with Ice Beam, then another Dragonair that we also one-shot with Ice Beam. After that is Dragonite, but despite the double type advantage, we actually left him with a Sliver, but all he did was use Safeguard, so it didn't matter. We took him out fine. Last is Aerodactyl, who outspeeds us and hits a weak Ancient Power before we one-shot him with a critical Ice Beam. Hey, outside of the Water Onyx, that was actually a really easy fight. I'm happy I got Ice Beam, or that would have been a million times worse. Finally, the Pokemon Champion. This is a tough one. The first one is Pidgeotto, and although we don't take much damage and we take it out pretty fast with Ice Beams, we turn into a Flying type. That's an issue because second is Rhydon, and he not only does a ton of damage to us with Rock Tomb, but he also drops our speed. We take him out, but then Exeggutor can hit us with Giga Drain for huge damage since we're Rock type. He ended up taking us down easily while we were asleep from Sleep Powder. I really think that we'd have the speed advantage on Exeggutor and we'd just one-shot him if not for Rock Tomb. I'll get to level 85 and see how much things change. Alright, more tries at level 85. Pidgeot goes basically the same, although we have a little bit more health left over. We nearly one-shot him on the second hit though, so if I need to level more, it could really change things. Rhydon actually goes better this time, kind of. He uses Scary Face, so we lose way more speed, and Takedown, so we're normal type now. But that's still better than Rock Tomb in terms of our health. Because we're not Rock type, he sends an Alakazam instead, so we tank a Psychic and then one-shot him with Shadow Ball. Next is Arcanine, so our attack is down, and I assume we're totally doomed since we really aren't doing much damage, just for us to survive an Extreme Speed with 18 health and score a crit to take him out. It didn't matter much though. Exeggutor was faster than us and finished us off. Okay, I'm confident that by level 90 we could one-shot Pidgeot and stand a better chance against some of the other Pokemon. Wow, I was surprised with how this one went. So it took a few tries, but we got a one-shot on Pidgeot, and second was Alakazam, who hits Psychic, then goes down in one Shadow Ball. Arcanine went the exact same way as on the other lucky attempt. We tank Flamethrower, hit Secret Power, survive an Extreme Speed, then crit Secret Power to take him out early. Rhydon is next, and 2 Brick Breaks do the trick, but we lose a lot of our health to Earthquake after Scary Face made us slow. But second from last is Blastoise, and even with us lucking out and his first Hydro Pump missing, it didn't matter. We hardly hurt him, and he just took us out on the next hit. We're level 90, and we're really not that close to winning. I'm really starting to think that we'll need to be level 100, and this'll still be a hard one. Even with us having high stats, Color Change is really hurting us more than it's helping us in this fight. Alright, a couple tries into level 95, and this time Alakazam is second again, and we can get a one-shot with Shadow Ball, but he puts up a Reflect first, so that changes how I'm gonna have to do this fight. I use Ice Beam instead of Shadow Ball on Exeggutor, so it survives with a Sliver, but thankfully, he missed Sleep Powder and used a full Restore, so we just got to use Ice Beam again to take him out. Next is Rhydon, and I try for Ice Beam to one-shot him. After that is Arcanine, and the Reflect is still up, so I decide to shatter it with Brick Break, and it did some decent damage. Flamethrower hits us for a little bit of damage, and Extreme Speed changes us back to normal type. That powered up our Secret Power that crits to take him out. Last is Blastoise, and I was worried, but we paralyzed him on the first hit as he made it rain. He got us with a Hydro Pump for decent damage, but our Shadow Ball really hurt him. I was worried he'd full restore, but his berry healed him enough that he didn't, so we could just take him out with one last Shadow Ball to finally get the win. Well, that one got really hard near the end. I guess I should have seen it coming though. Color Change is great against gym leaders since they tend to focus on one type and most types resist their own type, but as soon as I was fighting trainers with a wide variety of Pokemon, Color Change hurt us more than it helped us. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week on Saturday like usual with Pokemon Emerald with only rock types. Should be a fun one. There's tons of different rock types in that game. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time? Oh man, I want to get back to streaming some more so badly. I just did a bunch of streaming and I did a bunch of recording, and I guess I'm going to be doing more recording next week as well. I'm doing this voiceover way later in the week than I would like to. But Oh, I've just had so many plans lately, and the runs have been taking a little bit longer than expected, so I haven't been able to stream as much as I would like to. You know, between all the recording and all the other things. The cool thing, though, is I'm bringing back that Deus Ex Let's Play from like 5.5 years ago of Human Revolution, so that'll be up on the channel sometime soonish. By the time this video goes up, check the playlists. It might already be back. I don't know. Just wait for episode 26. The intro to episode 26 is insane. But I need to get editing this so fast, because the sooner I get this whole thing edited, the sooner those of you who have pledged on Patreon can get this video super, super early. And I want to try and get it to you as early as possible. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.